Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
All right, welcome to the KVJ ATS Podcast.
Kevin's eyes look insane, but he's got new hair. Virginia is a witch and she farts in her chair. Jason is a spaz who's got an old man's ass. Welcome to the After the Show Podcast.
Well, hello. Friday, baby. After the Show Podcast. Gotta say, I got this article from Suits. And this kind of ties into what I had on my mind here earlier today, part of my Friday. This is not really how I want to spend it, but it's having to deal with parking and West Palm. It's just already, I don't like to. Already, just when you work and do things like that, and you got to deal with nitpicky shit. Like when you get into the weekend, you're ready to okay,
not deal with that bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't ever have time for a parking meter and a parking attendant to ruin my night.
Yeah,
that's never going to be something that's going to be cool.
Yeah, and this is it, and you can see what happened last night. I took a photo. It has the clock in there, 5:49. There's a parking ticket on the windshield, and that's the parking app that shows that we have about 9 minutes left in our parking. And, the Mexican Queen had even sent me, what, she had received. Because you get a receipt, from doing all that stuff, too. And we were good to park, so for another 15, So, looking at the time on that was 4:46. Yeah, so we still had the 8-9 minutes. Yeah, so we had till 5:50 is 5:49. So, and you're just like, gosh, man, it's like a $27 ticket, which, somebody's like, you just pay the damn ticket. I'm like, yeah,
no,
I get it, but it's
you
like,
don't
no.
pay the ticket.
Yeah.
Because then they don't have to correct their bad behavior.
Yeah,
Right.
why do you have to make the
No.
adjustment? They're the ones that suck.
No.
Yeah.
Not today, not tomorrow,
Well,
not never.
And this is just it, because, I know people work on the city. I love the city of West Palm. I live in West Palm.
of course. That's
And-
what you're trying to do. Help them be better.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, I got to tell you, this is a guy that I'm rooting for you. And I'm a guy, my wife and I, that's our thing. We connect. I try to spend a little bit of time with her every night. We try to get a little appetizer and a drink and just say, hey, how was your day? And so, we really are working on it. We realize that's important. I used to, when I was doing sports shows and all that shit, I wasn't doing that. And, that really, things were, you got to put time in.
You might get some sex. You keep doing this.
We're working towards it. I mean, my
Good.
wife is like a time person. She needs it. Some people are like, "Going get away from me." My wife's not that way. My wife, she needs time. That's her love language. You got to give her undivided attention and listen to her and talk to her, and that's meaningful to her. So we're always finding different spots, and we love doing that. It's something we both like doing. We like people watching. I see things. I get ideas for the show. Just chat,
It's good.
I run into people like last night that gave me all the scoop on Jay Bird with the Dolphins, so that happened at that place. So,
You're not going to get that at home.
yeah, right. So I'm always trying to go out and see what's going on and mix around. And I'll tell you, all the places that we go, parking is a big thing. We went to Drive Shack on Wednesday night. Parking was easy. Went in there. The bar was fantastic. It's a cool atmosphere. We didn't even do the golf, and we still had a really good time. And then we go, and Clematis looks amazing. And the restaurant we went to, really great food, good stuff, the appetizers we got. And then we get in, we get this freaking parking ticket. And I've been bitching about parking around Clematis for years, since they put in those damn meters. And I said, look, and it just feels like they're out there. And if it feels like I don't like speed traps. I don't like where you feel like you're trying to entrap the citizens to take hard-earned money away from them. I think that's bullshit. And that's where people start hating government agencies.
Of course.
Because, you work hard for this damn money. It's like, don't set traps to try to swindle me out of my cash. And, this whole parking thing kind of feels like it. So today, I'm going to go through the process just to see how hard it is. And some people are like, well, maybe there's a phone number you can call. How easy is it going to be to get this thing resolved? Because they didn't put down the exact right tag number. There's a discrepancy between what's on the ticket and what's on my wife's license plate.
They wrote the tag wrong
Yeah.
on your ticket and gave you the ticket erroneously.
That's probably why it came up. But you got to get rid of that human error. Like I'd said earlier on the regular show, use the Google feature with the app. For them, the parking attendants, they need to snap a photo of it instead and have that read what the tag number says, because you can't trust these people to put in every digit right, because when they don't, now you've given me an aggravation I got to deal with.
You've left a variable out there that is massive, and especially if you've incentivized these same employees and they're making any kind of bonus structure based on how many tickets they write, this could be really a bad situation.
It's going to go against everything they're trying to do. If you're trying to get people to come out of their house and you got competition between what they're doing at City Place, and I tell you, we have a great time. I really like what they're doing on Dixie Highway there in the whole antique district.
Antique Row, yeah.
Grotto and some great places like that. Lots of cool
Love
breweries popping
Grotto,
up.
yes.
I'm telling downtown West Palm, you fuck around like this and you give people these little, nitty gritty tickets. I tell you what, I'm not going back for a long, long time. And I don't know if my wife will ever go back.
Your wife gets pissed and she's done.
And she's just done. You're dead to her. And so, I don't know when we'll be back. So, to me, it's like, get it right. But here's the thing that's going on. In fact, in this story that Seuss just sent me, they're up in a different level. West Palm now, they've got a new device to get drivers to pay up. It's called the Barnacle, and instead of booting your tire, it's something they put over your windshield so you can't see to drive. So they're I don't know what it is right now. Terrible timing. You're declaring war on motorists to nickel and dime them and give them false tickets and then slap shit on their car so they can't see to drive. You're going to have a mass exodus, and everything you put into this fucking street, no one is going to show up because they're going to be, I'm going to drive down there. It's like you're being harassed by gangs to try to take your money away, and you're like, fuck this.
Who is running this department?
I don't know, but Keith James, the new mayor, dude, you got to step in and say, guys, what are you doing? Because you're creating a hostile environment where people need to be like, I had the best experience ever, and my wife and I were saying that until we got into the car, and now today we're like going, I don't know when I'll ever go back, and I may not.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dickie Rants.
Yeah.
Get him, Dickie.
But this is a big problem. So if you're running a business, you need to figure out a way to bring people down and make them happy. The experience needs to be pleasant. You can't have it up to a parking attendant to be able to put one number in a machine wrong and give people erroneous tickets and then piss them off. When you posted that picture of what happened to you, a bunch of other people in the comments.
And the comments were like, it happened to me. In the text today, people were like, yeah, I had the same thing happen to me. Now with the text today, probably about 15 people this has happened to.
15 people have gone downtown West Palm Beach and had erroneous tickets given to them. Okay, that's a big problem.
Absolutely.
That's a huge problem that somebody needs to address and say, okay, let's fix this.
Because each one of those people that are dealing with this are not going to go back. They're
And
going to
if
be like, no, because there's too many other great options.
If I was a merchant or I was a restaurant on
Yes.
that street, I would be
Right.
so fucking pissed because I would know that they are running away my customers and driving me out of business.
Amen, Virginia.
I'd be pissed.
Well-
somebody call the Downtown Development Authority. They could be your lobbyists for this and say, what are you doing?
I'm going to call him because I want to get mad just like you and Kevin. You guys are mad. I like it.
Yeah, it pisses me off because there's a bunch of small businesses, some of which I'm very close friends with down there on that street.
And it's not their fault. They're doing a great job. And like that Sorbonne that opened up, or however you pronounce it, we tried last night. It was fantastic. I don't want to see, they should not be penalized by a rogue traffic enforcement agency that is out nickel and diming people. And there are some obvious traffic infractions. Sure, enforce those. But when you create one and fabricate an infraction and you cause somebody a day where I got to like deal with it, yeah, the aggravation, like I said, every moment that's ticking off the clock is probably just ticking off the weeks before I'm ever going to go back there again.
And it's obviously not an isolated event, so don't try to say that. We've got 15 comments on a post on Facebook and a bunch of the people text into us that said the same thing happened to them. So it's a problem. Y'all need to figure y'all house out.
Yeah. Remy said, yeah, I was given a parking ticket before when I still had time on my meter. I went downtown to the office, showed them my proof, and they're like, okay, dismissed. And that's fine, but still, when people I don't want to have to go back downtown. I got to find parking again. And
Who's got the time for all
Right.
of this? Okay, you're just pissing people off now.
Yeah. And I'd say, honestly, what you got to do is don't just dismiss it. Give them a parking credit. Be like, sorry for the hassle. Here, $50. You get credit on the app so you can park, and please come back. That's how you got treated. That's when people will come back and be like, oh, cool, thanks.
Otherwise, the queen's not going.
Yeah, we ain't going for a while. Or ever. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see. A couple other interesting stories that are out that people have been sending today. Boca Steve, he's looking into the Epstein stuff that's going on.
Oh, my gosh. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's an unreal story. I mean, talk about the movie. I mean, just last week we'd have where the one, doctor was like, he does autopsies, and he's like, yeah, this isn't consistent with the hanging, what I'm seeing in this. And then you've got all kinds of other, just how deep does this go? And
If you're intrigued, you got to listen to that podcast, The Mysterious Mr. Epstein. It's like 6 or 7 episodes maybe, but it's really good.
yeah,
Details I had no idea about.
it's a fascinating story.
Details about taking people out, like people that are high powered, or does it not mention anything like that?
No, it tells you, a little bit of high power people. You hear a little bit of like Prince Andrew, and you hear a little bit about the Clintons, and you hear a little bit about Trump, and you hear about people that maybe he was hanging out with that have now totally disassociated
Was
themselves.
he huge friends with the Clintons too?
I think so. I think they were friends. I think everybody disassociated real quick, though. But it shows you how you can buy power and influence. It broke down his maneuvers, his strategy, where he got his money from. He started as a school teacher
Oh, really?
at a very
I think I did see
fancy,
that. Yeah.
prestigious prep school in New York City. And he began befriending the parents of these kids that had money, and he weaseled his way just right up to the top.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating.
So what he's saying here is, the ABC thing that happened this week, that, somebody was ranting on camera, whoever it was that did the story, that for 3 years they tried to get all this information on, and ABC squashed it, and then they came back later and said, oh, no, that was just me venting, and it wasn't true. And
Whatever.
Right.
I believe the reporter.
Yeah. Believe when somebody's venting. Trust me, I know about venting.
Thank you.
It's legit. There's emotions behind it. But yeah, Boca Steve had said now there's this thing, ABC owns Disney, or Disney owns ABC, actually, the other way
Right.
around. And apparently Disney Cruises had excursions to Epstein Island. So that maybe ties as to why from the top down it was like, we're not doing an Epstein story. Coming from Disney and the cruise and all
Disney
that
had
stuff.
cruises to Epstein Island. Will somebody explain that to me? Because in that podcast, I know exactly what's on Epstein Island, and I can't imagine it was a destination for a cruise ship.
Yeah, Little St. James Island. I don't know. That's, what'd you say? Steve is big time into conspiracy theories. We'll see. Yeah. He got it from the WashingtonPundit.com. So I don't know if that is out there. Will that surface? And is there, I think that's just it. How deep does the cover up go, in this story?
Wow.
And there's other Epsteins out there.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That are protecting.
The good ones you don't hear about. He just got sloppy.
Yeah.
He got sloppy, and he has too many victims. And the good ones you probably don't hear about. They probably kill their victims.
I think that's what happens with a lot of these criminals. They eventually get sloppy. Like some of these serial killers, after their 20th kill. All right.
Scary stuff.
We were talking about how you would alert somebody that you've been kidnapped, whether on the phone or, if you were given one social media post to be like, hey, make sure everything looks normal in your life, but you're trying to give a code that everything's not normal in my life, that a kidnapper wouldn't know, that maybe somebody reading your social media post might. What would you do? And Joanna had sent us an email, said, yeah, I was catching up on you guys talking about that. And Kevin was talking about saying nonsense to somebody on the phone to try to get them to realize something is wrong. I was a dispatcher for several years, and we actually use this tactic quite often. I've had people trying to call for a domestic, and they pretend that they're ordering a pizza.
Love it.
I've had people pretend that they're just calling a friend, and we talk like family. You can ask a lot of important questions and still get answers this way just by them saying nonsense, but it actually answers your questions.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're trained to do that. I love it.
That's helping people. That's awesome.
I would just be so afraid if they would hear the dispatcher on the other end. Because some people can talk really loud. Like when you are on a phone, I can hear you, Virginia.
I know. I'm really loud, Kevin.
Yeah.
I don't mean that as a slight. I'm loud too. Just some people are loud.
It's true.
I can't hear Denny's on a phone.
You have Lao Tzu and you're loud too?
Yes, absolutely.
Showed Virginia crazy video from earlier. Remember we had talked about El Chapo's son, that insanity that had happened in Mexico is just freaking insane.
Yeah.
Like, because, you know, you had the 9 people that were gunned down the other day. And then remember like a week or two ago, we were talking about where they tried to take Chapo's son and then
released him like 30 minutes later.
Yeah, because the cartel was too much. And even the government force was like, okay, all right, too many people are going to die here. And that was it. And just had video today. The guy who arrested El Chapo's son, he pulled into a strip mall, and here come 2 cars. Gunmen jump out. They counted 150 bullets in this guy's body. The guy had arrested him.
150 bullets.
Yeah.
Wow, did he survive?
It's crazy. Yeah, they do not mess around. And then nobody's going to come to justice.
No.
I mean, that's it. I mean,
That's it. It's done.
There's no worry, and it's on video. Like they have a surveillance video.
We watched it.
Yeah, and you could see them getting out of the car, and the guy pulls in, and another car pulls in right behind him. They just follow him, and it just peppered down. I mean, if you work for, who would even work for law enforcement at going against the cartels if you lived in Mexico and you go to work and then you go home and try to live a life,
and they're gonna try to kill your family because that's what they do.
Right?
Yeah, it would be tough, man.
I don't know how do you ever recruit anybody to go into that job?
I don't know.
Same way they would recruit people going after the mafia back in the day. You know, Elliot Ness, all that kind of stuff. The same thing. They'd go after them and they'd blow up their families' cars and kill everybody.
Yeah, somebody said that is why they always wear a full face mask. Yeah, you've seen that, and I get that. But, if you've got, people working on the inside.
They know who it was.
Yeah, they're always like, yeah, here's a name, and that's kind of it. You don't even know working. So the cartel has their own law enforcement people that are working for the cartel, work for the drug. So, they've got all the insider information, so they're letting you know. They're letting the cartel know everything. The cartel knows as much as anybody who's at the deepest levels of, that law enforcement agency. Somebody said, what a waste of bullets. Not really. To them, they love that. They probably would have been like, oh, we only did 150. Somebody's probably getting yelled at me. You should have put 300 because we want to leave no doubt.
Send a message.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah. You don't need more than one if it's put the right place. But, yeah, this is all just to say, yeah.
Scare, shock. They love that.
Fear.
It worked for me.
I'm scared. I'm shocked. I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Mexico. I can tell you that. And then somebody just sent us a message this morning. They were going to Mexico for a honeymoon or an anniversary. I was like, oh, shit, bad timing.
Yeah, I think, from what I hear, and like I said, I was talking to my buddy about it, and he's from Mexico City. His mom lives there, and I think we're going in January. And he's like, it's certain parts. My wife, the Mexican queen, her family was from Chihuahua, whatever that town is, Juarez, that's right on the border. And they were a pretty affluent family there, and the cartel came and just one day said, you will move, and they had to pack up their shit and leave, and they just took their house, and that's why they wound up in the U.S., in El Paso, and that whole area is now cartel. But it's just, it's certain areas of Mexico you don't go into, and I think if you look on a map the State Department has, and he was telling me, he's like, yeah, Mexico City, you'll be fine. You wouldn't even know this stuff's going on, but you get out into some of the more rural areas, and it's a problem.
That's what happened with my ex-fiance when she lived in Colombia. Her dad had a good job making good money, and the people there were trying to tell him, we want more money, give us more money. He wouldn't give it, so he ended up leaving, coming down to the States, but then he needed his green card. He had to go back. It was crazy, but she said the cartel there was after them.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's insane stuff. It really, in this world.
To the point they were basically in hiding at one point.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
It is crazy stuff. I don't know how you get around it.
It makes you really appreciate where you're lucky to live.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we've got it so good. I mean, we really do. I know you can nitpick and you can find all of our little problems, but if you just, there is a movie that is out today. I think it's called Midway. It's about the Battle of Midway. This is World War II. It was a big battle. They say it's maybe the greatest naval battle ever. It happened right after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. Imagine living through World War II. I'm just like, because we responded by bombing Tokyo. Like, can you imagine that shit? Like, if somebody's like bombers were flying over New York City, just dropping bombs on the population, like. Just let that sink in. And this is the kind of stuff that's happened throughout humanity. And we just had a quiet period.
We're here at this time, at this place. Like, how lucky are we?
It was, and I'm listening right now to that, that history podcast. And they would just go in level cities. Like, they would just kill everyone, knock everything down. That was just standard.
Things have been quiet for a while. I know we've had some terrible tragedies, but I'm just saying overall, like you're saying, big wars. And
something to that level. World War II.
Yes.
Yeah, where so many people were involved. I mean, that, ends basically since, 1950. So here we are. We're, dealing with 70, 80 years. It's been pretty chill.
And don't email us about, no, guys, what about this? But we know there's been some strife out
but I'm
there.
talking about that kind of stuff where there's just, major cities are just, reduced to nothing and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you got towns, but not like your Londons and Berlins and Tokyos and cities like that. It's crazy.
And Sean in the chat room said Italian mafia never killed or went after law enforcement. That's not true.
It isn't. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, it's not true. Al Capone and...
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
It's not true.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely not true.
It's not true. No, Italian... The mafia absolutely has killed...
and gone after.
Yes.
And would love to get their hands on.
Totally.
Let's see here. Got another story that Thumbelina had sent us. In China, they're banning minors from playing video games after 10 p.m. Okay. That's what you do in a communist nation. And some people are like, going, yeah, that makes sense. See, in China, apparently, when you're in a communist nation, here in America, we're like, yeah, it's bad parenting, but we're not going to step in.
It's your choice.
Yeah. Some countries are like, no, we're going to tell you. Yeah, I don't know how they enforce this or what the punishment might be. If that's legit. I hadn't seen that story anywhere else, but if that is, who knows? Probably something that, some parents should probably do, especially if it's a weeknight for school. But probably some parents did. Did you have a strict bedtime during the week during school?
It was so weird because things would be so streaky in our house. We would never go to church, and all of a sudden we're going to church every Sunday, and then that would stop. We would go to bed really, really early, and then all of a sudden we're allowed to stay up and watch HBO. And we would allow to drink 3 liters of soda. But then all of a sudden, no, you can only have a Dixie cup amount of Kool-Aid. It was up and down. It was very nothing in the middle. So, yes and no, Kevin.
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Huh? A little bit of both. Okay. Let me see here. Got a couple of beer things to tell you about here. Somebody said, yeah, I heard Jaybird talking about Maine this morning. My husband and I drive to Maine every summer, and for the past 5 years, we map out our trip. On the way up, we stop at breweries and restaurants we want to try. Yeah, that's a great idea. We kind of did that 2 years ago for Thanksgiving. We went up through Asheville and, saw all the breweries there. I should have spent a lot more time because there's just so much. So many great towns have great beer scenes now. So, yeah, my in-laws have a house on the coast. There's so many great breweries all over. Definitely worth the trip. Yeah, I tell you about a buddy of mine. They go up there to, I think it's Vermont every summer when it's actually warm. It's like 70 degrees.
That sounds so peaceful in the summer. 70?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's, lovely. And they go, and some of I think the best rated brewery in America is there. They go to it. Yeah.
The Bird's been wanting to go to Vermont.
I've been wanting to go to Vermont. And it's actually, we're really legit talking about me and Virginia going to Italy.
We are.
It's a real
that'd be awesome.
So Jerry, Jerry Soma, my son's godfather, the man behind the Italian festival, his great-grandparents founded this island off the coast of Italy. I was showing it to you. It's a tiny little island. It's smaller than Capri. And when he goes back, they shut down the businesses and they have a parade for him because they all say, these are the great-grandchildren of
that's cool.
Gennaro and whoever that
Yeah.
started the island. And
Wow.
it's a big deal when he goes back. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
so cool.
an amazing thing to go and experience Italy with this family.
Yeah.
So Jerry is getting married early next year, and he is going to be honeymooning in Italy.
Oh, wow.
In May.
Yeah.
And so this is the time for us to save our pennies and maybe see if we can do this.
I've always wanted to go to Italy. I had a friend of mine just went for a couple weeks. He did his honeymoon there, and absolutely amazing. I saw some of the photos.
I was looking at flights. You know, the flights in May are not as crazy as other times of the year. So May is a
Yeah.
good travel
Okay.
month to go for affordability. There was prices anywhere from $600 to like $1,200 for a ticket.
It's more affordable than you might think. Yeah, I mean, you sock away a little bit for it, but you know, it's I think it'd be worth it. That's just one of those places where everybody should go if you get the opportunity.
And always go with the local. Go with somebody, you know, who's been there, who's got family there, who can be your tour guide. That, to me, is the experience.
I want to just try the pizza. I just want to go. I'm going to Italy for the
That's
pizza.
why you're going, huh?
It really is.
Well, Jerry said you're welcome. We're going to crash his honeymoon.
I love it.
All of us.
That's a cool. Yeah, that's a great trip.
I think we fly into either Rome. I think it's Rome that we fly into.
I had a little time to learn some Italian too.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. There's just so much to see in Italy.
I got to get the exact dates, but it's looking like May. So I'm really putting my head in that space and saying, okay, where can I sock away some cash?
Milica had said that, we even went to a brewery that was hidden in the woods, and there were pigs just roaming on the property. So many little hidden gems. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I think my buddy's telling me about there's kind of like a brewery that's up there. I think they had like farm animals just kind of walking around.
I love that, the whole cage-free thing, and animals are just loose.
I thought you were allergic to animals.
I'm okay if I don't touch them. If I touch them, then I'm screwed.
Okay, well, how come that one time I brought Chewy in here? You.
The dog hair was coming off of him like crazy.
I think you're more allergic to cats than dogs. I had Chewy
Definitely.
in here before, and you were fine.
I'm okay. The problem is Chewy likes to rub all over my leg.
Well, I mean, he likes what he likes.
I know. I got a nice leg.
John in the chat room said you should come to Homestead. They got a lot of breweries and a winery here. Yeah, I know MIAA Brewing is there. That's one of my favorite places. So, yeah, hopefully soon. I got that on the list. There's a couple good breweries there I haven't been to yet. Lincoln's Beard, I think, and stuff like that. Tank Brewing, I want to go check out.
Lincoln's Beard's the name. That's cool.
Yeah, they got some really cool ones there to check out. They also got this on Instagram. Somebody tried this new place in Delray Beach. It's called Hopportunities. They got all kinds of craft beer, cider, and wine. They also choose one beer for charity, and all the proceeds from that tap go to charity. Could be for like Little Smiles.
That's awesome.
That is kind of cool.
Hopportunities?
Hopportunities in Delray Beach, and I'm in Delray a ton, and I don't think I've been to Hopportunities.
You got to go scope it out.
I do. This
I know,
keto
you're not
diet
doing
is
it.
crushing my craft beer.
What day are you on? Keto day?
I have been. It was 2 Sundays ago, so that'd be 14 plus a Sunday. I'm on day 18.
And people are noticing. Everyone's saying Kevin Ralston's looking like a snack. As I've seen the comments.
I mean, we've been hearing that for years. You've been a snack for me for years. I think people are saying you're a meal now.
Damn.
That's right.
You can tell Kevin's reading and kind of can't really be a part of the conversation, but doesn't want to be forgotten.
Well,
Yeah.
we were just hitting on him, basically.
I was really over that.
I hear you.
Let me see. Somebody said, Virginia, if you want to signal for help, Carol said you can talk about you can't wait to go see Rob Schneider. And the good news is he's coming to town, I think, in 2 weeks.
He comes here a lot, man. There's certain comedians that are here a lot.
Yeah, and he is here a lot. And every time he comes, we request an interview, and every time we get turned down.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. Just not working out. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I don't know when he's coming because he's blocked me on all social media.
I think the interview would go well. I'd love to do that interview. That would be
Nice, why
so
not? I think we
fun.
could-
I would love
everybody.
to too, but it can go one of two ways.
No, you-
because I am going to tell it like it is.
You want to get into a cockfight is what you
No,
want to do.
I want him to own the fact that he was a dick.
See, there it is.
And if he would do
Right, that's
that,
not gonna go anywhere.
we'll be fine.
Okay, hey, Rob, do the interview, but just admit that you were the jerk. Okay, I'll be right on.
He was a jerk first, then I was a jerk, and then you were a jerk, and then that was it. It was over.
I love it.
To start off, that might not, take off.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Hold on to the hate, Kevin. Hold on to it.
Yes, it makes you stronger.
Well, it just reminds you not to accept that from motherfuckers.
Well, we didn't, and we put him in his place, and then you build forgiveness.
If he owns it, I would be happy to forgive him.
Yeah.
He's gonna come in here, all 4'2" of him, sassy and staking with his story. I know it. He's not gonna own it.
I don't care if he owns it. I don't need his fucking apology.
Yeah, you have to live your life based on
Yeah.
someone else's apology.
We don't need that shit.
Well, I need it, or I'm not talking to him like a civil human.
That's fine. Gosh,
Apologize, or it's gonna be ugly.
I would love to see this, actually.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting. Yeah. I got an email here. Some things going on. I got a special family that is in need. Marianne is a beautiful, kind-hearted 13-year-old girl who is battling cancer for the second time.
Aw.
Bless her heart.
Stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. Barrel of Monkeys Kids Gym in Delray Beach is going to be holding a fundraiser tomorrow from 10:30 to 2:30 p.m. for a donation-only open gym. Come let your little ones jump on the trampoline and slide down the slides. It's open to all ages 7 and under. 100% of the proceeds will go to help her out. So
Does it say what hospital she's at?
does not. No, I can give you
Yeah,
the
give me all
email, and you can follow up there on that
I will.
if you want the photo too.
I do.
Also, we have got Kyle saying he's been listening since 95.5 days, and we're having a charity contest at work. All the males partnered with a female for a No Shave November. The goal is to collect donations for Place of Hope. It's dear to our office because of their commitment to at-risk children who are in need of foster homes. I'd like to bring attention to the contest to get more donations to Place of Hope. The GoFundMe charity event is called Beards for Hope. It's a link. You can find it, search for it. We'll put it on the KVJ Cares page as well. If people want to go find that, you can. And I wanted to let you know that they got the 4th Annual Urban Youth Impact Fall Stampede 5K presented by Chick-fil-A tomorrow at 8 a.m. Urban Youth Impact, I love it. It focuses on providing educational enrichment and resources, a safe environment, personal mentorship, and job readiness programs to facilitate the growth and development of Palm Beach County's underserved youth. And they do great stuff. Kids who are great kids that just do not have opportunities legitimately gets them out of some scary environments that they are in. If you know anybody that's ever had to try to survive, and I say survive the inner city because for some kids it is survival. You know, when you don't join a gang, you're trying to go home and the gang is shooting at you as you're trying to get home safely. Mom's not letting their kids go outside in the summertime because they will be shot. It is a reality that happens in, unfortunately, our inner cities. This kind of stuff will help them out. UYIFallStampede.com costs us $40. Starting line is at Avernia and Flagler next to the Meijer. 50-yard race for kids with local mascots at 8:45 a.m. So jump on that. UYIFallStampede.com. It's a great thing to do. Thank you for that and letting us help out good stuff in the community. Always love doing it. Send your emails to us. Mail at kvjshow.com. All right, I'm off to battle traffic. Not the traffic out there, but the traffic department, bitches.
Get him, Dickie.
Yeah, Dickie's coming after you. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you later.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.